we always got some things to talk about. But we gonna start it off with our event we had yesterday, the Jericho March with the United Clergy Coalition. We gonna get into some video, gonna show you some pictures, then we gonna get into the controversy that ended up happening behind the march. So let's first let's get into the speech.
Coming to the stage, this brother's out here on the front lines every day. He's a train conductor and a repping for those brothers that work for the New York City Transit and MTA. Running an organization that advocates for the rights of those that work in that area. Please help me welcome the founder of Progressive Action, the president, Mr. Tremel Thompson.
I want to remind people why we're here today. We are here for Jesus. We are here for God. When I heard that there was protesters here, I was confused. Who wanted to protest against God and Jesus? Now, we got to change some narratives that we have in our community. We must change what we consider gangster. Gangster is not selling drugs. Gangster is not carrying guns. Gangster is not disrespecting your parents. Gangster is not shooting guns into crowds, hitting innocent people. That's not gangster. What's gangster is fighting against oppression. Gangster is fighting against racism. Gangster is fighting against police reform. Gangster is fighting against housing reform. That's gangster. There's gangsters here today. We got to change the narratives. And to all the police officers here, I need y'all to listen real close. You guys want us to tell what's going on in our communities. Y'all put up rewards for us to tell. We want to know when y'all gonna start telling on each other and knock down that blue wall of silence and stop hiding your people. Because this ain't about good cop, bad cop. This is about good people and bad people. Good people put on uniforms, bad people put on uniforms. But we must change the narrative. Thank you to the United Clergy Coalition for inviting me out, and we need to take control of our communities.
I was so emotional of what was going on. I messed up and said we against police reform. We not against police reform. We not against housing reform. But it was a lot of stuff going on before I got on the stage, and we're going to walk you through some of that because the controversy I didn't really like it. But let me get into this other video to show you that it was actually church happening in front of City Hall. So check this video out. Yeah, so it was actually church happening in front of City Hall, and it was a beautiful thing. And just to show you some of the pictures, we got Nuke here. I don't know who the other young lady is, but Nuke actually designed the look for the flyers and the shirts, the banners for this the Jericho March. This is us actually going across the bridge. This is the front of the line. We have Bishop Seabrooks. We have Tony Herbert. We have a whole bunch of people, in back of us, thousands of people in back of us. We got my boy Triple G. We got me in the middle. We got Nuke again. This picture, we have me, the Honorable Bishop Seabrooks. And like I said, the event was beautiful, but there was some controversy that went on during the event. And let me see something. Matter of fact, let me move this down right here. Yeah, with some controversy that went on during the event. So let me explain to you guys, as far as my point of view of what happened. So when I first arrived at Cadman Plaza, there was a lot of people there, and we did notice a large contingent of NYPD officers. And that's not really the problem, because we aren't against police. We are against police brutality. We don't think that every police officer is bad, just like how we don't want people who look at us to think that every black or Hispanic person is bad. That's just the wrong way to think. But when I see a sign like Blue Lives Matter, to me, that signals something. That signals, in my opinion, police brutality. That signals they don't want police reform. It signals certain things for me personally. And when I seen them there, I was taken aback, because I thought that if the police were to join us, they will be joining us under the assumption that we all will be wearing the Jericho March shirts. We all will be marching as one. We all will be marching under the agenda items which we had, which was police reform, housing reform, education reform, and a bunch of other things. But come to find out that, which I didn't know at the time, because when we started the march across the bridge, what happened was that we was alerted that there was protesters protesting against our march. And I didn't get it, because I'm like, we are with a church community, the United Clergy Coalition. A whole bunch of church clergymen came together through a march. And why are people protesting against this march? And like I said, I didn't understand it at first. It made absolutely no sense to me as to why these protests was going on. So when we end up getting to the other side of the bridge, because it was mayhem when we got to the other side of the bridge. I mean, people met us. They were screaming at us. Some people was cheering, but we didn't understand why that negative energy was there towards a church movement. And so when we got to the float, when we got there, it was beautiful. The choir was singing, the band was playing, it was rocking down there. It was nice. So I started getting calls from the media, and they asking me, Tremel, why are you a part of a pro-police march? And I'm like, I'm not a part of a pro-police march. I'm a part of a march with the United Clergy Coalition, and we are marching against, we are marching, for police reform, for education reform, and all these other reforms. And they was like, no, that's not what's going on. I said, how are you telling me what's going on when I was a part of the organization of this? So a flyer ended up being sent to me, and I'm not going to post the flyer on the show, but a flyer ended up being sent to me from the SBA, and they had their own flyer saying that this march was about stopping the violence and basically supporting police. And that was not what this rally was about. Do we support good cops? Yes, we support good cops. Do we support Blue Lives Matter? I don't support Blue Lives Matter. There's some things that's wrong with that I don't support. And it proved to me that day why I'm against Blue Lives Matter. So I had about 4 news agencies contact me with the same thing. And then when I end up checking Twitter and the SBA, their Twitter page, it actually looked like it was their march and we was there to support them. And I felt that was in poor taste, because I think they used the church movement, these black clergy, these Hispanic clergymen and women, to give the illusion like we are supporting Blue Lives Matter. And that was not the case at all. So I was actually searching social media today, and I found this post by a person named Mr. Thomas Ella. And he said on it, and you can see yourself, once the church rally started denouncing police brutality, the Blue Lives Matter crowd abandoned them. Instead, the church and the Black Lives Matter protesters had meaningful discussion and time to heal together. And that's exactly what happened. Bishop Figueroa I believe he went on stage second. and he spoke about police brutality. Now, there was a police contingent that marched with us. As soon as they heard that we were going against, or we were fighting, police brutality, they all left. They left. So they set up this whole environment with us. A few of them stayed. A tiny few of them stayed. The majority of them left once they heard the bishop speak on police brutality. So they set up this whole narrative of we are supposed to be marching with them for Blue Lives Matter. They left us down there with the protesters. They were rightfully upset that people that look like them is marching with Blue Lives Matter who have issues within themselves, and especially the days before this even happened, right? So they was rightfully angry. So me, Drew, Bishop Maldonado, Scopa, Ron, a few of the bishops, we went over the barricades to have conversations with them to let them know that we are not your enemy. We didn't know what was going on that day, and that was the honest truth of the whole march. And one of the guy here that you see in the picture, I have seen him around on social media. I believe his name is Mike. And we spoke with him to get him to understand. But I want to play some videos. I want to play 2 videos for you guys of what actually was going on when the cops actually left. They left us there. Now, my thing is this. If good cops are marching with us and there's a misunderstanding between the police and the community, I believe those cops who had the Blue Lives Matter flags should have went to speak to the protesters to let the protesters know that, hey, we are on you guys' side. There's just a big miscommunication. But they didn't do that. As soon as they heard that we are protesting police and their brutality, they left. They left us with the protesters who were angry. So I'm going to play this video for you guys because I want to show you how touching and real it was down there speaking to these protesters. I want you guys to listen closely to what was going on.
Because you got a right to believe. God gave it to you. You have options. You have a choice. You have a mind. You have a brain. Now, I'm going to persuade you to believe like me. But I respect your right to be different. And so that's why, because if we misunderstood your intention, this is because this ain't our territory. We from the church. Just like if you came in our church, you probably, and you did this, we would probably get mad at you. So we apologize for coming out here on your territory and not checking with you. Thank you, brother.
Now we go play the next video. It's another video. We go play the next one just to show you how real it was out there.
But you guys are important out here in the street. And today we invaded on your territory and we didn't get your permission. That was our mistake. We checked with everybody but you.
The one who's been out here.
The one who's been out here. I was out here last night. Bishop Jesse. I was out here last night over there at the tent, walking around, surveying the land, doing my ops, my intel. But I didn't go everywhere because I was afraid it was late at night. But what I'm telling you is we respect you. And you being out here in the street, I know that's a sacrifice. That ain't easy. You believe in what you believe in. And I respect people who believe what they believe, even if it ain't exactly what I believe.
The tension was very heavy down there yesterday. There was a lot of emotions. Like I said, we went behind a barricade and spoke to as many as we can. and the show had to go on. You know, it's real down there. It's really real down there. And I personally, and I'm speaking for myself. I did not like the way the NYPD. I didn't like the way, I'm not even gonna say the NYPD, because there was cops who were there supposed to march with us. Chief Harrison, she's supposed to march with us. She's not against us. There was people who were supposed to be there, but the SBA, I think they handled this. They handled this all wrong. And it was wrong. You know, what could I say? We was taken blindsided by the entire thing. I didn't know that was happening, to be honest with you. Just like some people don't want to march with Black Lives Matter because of whatever. I don't like to, I would have felt the way, or I would have felt better if I knew that they was going to be there with that. There wasn't no reason for them to bring a Blue Lives Matter flag. We was marching under Jesus and God and the Jericho march. It wasn't no reason for them to do that. If we go march as one, there don't need to be any separate messages beyond that. And there was a separate message. And I felt the SBA tried to control the narrative in their own little way regarding that. And it's kind of messed up because a couple of officers had gotten hurt, and about 30-some people got arrested. I heard one of the officers got like 8 staples in his head. And, you know, it probably could have been prevented if the wrong message wouldn't have been sent out there. And that's all I had to say, because they didn't have to make their own flyer. They could have just retweeted the flyer that we had in unison, like everyone else. Every other church retweeted the flyer that we had. It wasn't no reason for them to do that. I didn't get that. So, you know, like I said, one of the reasons why, you know, we march, we want all these reforms, and we still having issues in our communities. And I didn't get to do a show about this yet, and because I just been busy and, you know, handling a lot of personal things. But this right here, man, this right here, this is one of the most heartbreaking things that anyone could possibly deal with. Your 1-year-old being shot and killed in a shootout. I mean, I can't even imagine the pain that family is going through regarding this tragedy. You know, just thinking about it makes my heart drop, because I just can't imagine to, you know, think about, and then just to see the picture of the baby carriage, to see the picture of the baby carriage, and knowing that this child got shot in the baby carriage. And I hear people, you know, they making arguments, well, the baby shouldn't have been out that late at night. Listen, crime is happening all times of the day here in our city. What would be the excuse if this happened 11 in the afternoon? They was out too early. Like, stop. Let's not make excuses for the time, but let's address the problem. A 1-year-old by the name of Devell Gardner was shot and killed senselessly, probably over something that didn't require guns, probably didn't even require a fist fight. But us as a people, we are quick to do harm and cause violence upon each other. And why? Why? And I'm not saying that I'm innocent out of all of this, because there was a time where I thought that violence was the answer. And I grew from that. I started learning, you know, certain things and things of that nature. And we got to find a way to reach the youth and get out to the youth and find out what is the problem, what's going on. Because when I speak to them, I'm not speaking to them from a third party. I was there with them. I'm from Tompkins Projects. I grew up on Gates Avenue. I ran these streets crazy. Anyone who knows me know that I was out here doing what I do. When I got with transit, I stopped literally. I stopped. I just stopped when I got with transit. Being in the train cab, thinking about your life and reflecting on things. I decided to go to college. When I got to college, that's when I learned about real Black history and knowledge of self. And I didn't even go to college for that. And I ended up finding that in college, and it was so important. It helped set up my fight. It helped set up my power through knowledge. And it guided me through this progressive action thing, how to deal with X, Y, and Z, how to do everything basically. College groomed me. Those set of professors groomed me through this whole passage. So you it's like with inside the communities, like, what are we thinking? And why aren't we upset at like what's going on? If a cop was to shoot and kill someone, we will be ready to burn the city down. But when we do it to ourselves, we don't take heed as to what we're doing. It's like, oh, okay, someone shoot another person. As long as it was a cop, we're going to ignore it. But a 1-year-old baby was murdered. Now, the police, they did release surveillance footage of the shooting, and I'm going to play it for you guys. Give me 1 second. I want to set something up real quick. I'm going to play it for you guys a couple of times because it's pretty quick, but I want to show you how fast a person's life could change at the hands of a gun and a bad decision. I'm going to play it a couple of times for you guys. Check it out. But look how senseless it is. They shooting, chasing someone, running, and they, I think they shot about 4 people. The baby was one of them, and the baby died. That's, man, just how fast your life could change. Now there's somewhat some good news attached to this case. And the good news is that someone was taken in custody today over the death of the baby. And they said the name of this person, his name is Deshaun Austin. In the article, it stated that he was wanted for other shootings. I mean, this is sickening. This is sickening, man. This is sickening. And my question, I mean, not even a question. We just got to find a way to get control over what's going on in our communities. Violence cannot be the end all be all. It never ends. You shoot someone, that person, family and friends want to get retaliation. They shoot someone you love, and the cycle just keep going. It's a never ending process. So we must find other ways to handle conflict. Picking up a gun shouldn't be the only way to handle conflict. And sometimes, and this is the real part, people say, yo, why y'all just don't fight? Why Why you just don't fight it out? Because sometimes even when you fight it out, the person that lost, and if they get embarrassed in the loss, the way they want to get even is picking up a gun. So we got to find a way to not even get physical anymore, to find a way to talk it out and discuss these issues, because I guarantee you there are so many people in jail right now that's probably doing life in jail because they killed someone over something that they probably could have came to a table and squashed. It's the bottom line. And you know, I see some people say, well, as soon as they got rid of the anti-crime unit and these crimes, these shootings have picked up. That possibly can be true, right? But just because they got rid of the anti-crime unit, does that mean that the police are doing less patrols? The anti-crime unit was doing a lot of horrible things out here too. They was targeting people. They was planting things on people. I was targeted myself by an anti-crime unit. They broke my glove compartment. They stole my digital camera. I never retrieved that back. And they do horrible things out here. So I don't think that the correlation of, oh, they got rid of the anti-crime unit, people feel like they could carry guns at will or whatever the case is. Cops should be in places to deter. 9 times out of 10, if someone see a police officer nearby, they probably would not do what they want to do, shoot the firearm or whatever the case is. Good policing is not only jumping out on people and asking them, do they have guns? But good policing is also deterrence, to deter crime. And if the NYPD feel like they cannot deter crime without anti-crime unit, then they have an issue. This is why we need to discuss police reform. And to the politicians, I need to know what is going on in between these press conferences, because it's easy when there's a issue, the cameras is out and to speak in front of the camera. But what are our politicians doing in between these press conferences to stop the crime? What are they doing? We need to ask those questions. So when we see them at a press conference, we need to ask them, what are you doing in between these acts of violence and in between these press conferences to help deter the crimes themselves? What are they doing legislatively? What are they doing in their districts and in their communities? Why aren't they fighting for more community programs to keep kids off the street, to have them doing positive? Because there's a difference that we must pay attention to here. The difference is that between talking about something and actually fighting for something. If I'm a politician, it's easy for me to go in front of a camera for a talking point to say, yeah, we need more community programs in our communities. We need more after school programs. We need basketball programs. We need tennis programs, XYZ. It's easy to say what we need, but how hard are they fighting to get these programs put into place in their communities? And that's what we have to focus on. How hard are they going to implement these changes in their communities beyond them being talking points? And that's what I have to say about that. So, as we know, because of this whole our new life, we have at MTA alone, we have lost a lot of transit workers. And when you pass away and you have a city job, any kind of city job, you marry, you have children or whatever, certain people have access to your benefits, pension benefits, some type of death benefits, no matter what the case is. So here at the MTA, family members are having problems retrieving the benefits from their loved ones who have passed away. Now, the problem with this is that some people who work, and this is for any city agency, some of the people who work for city agencies, they are the breadwinners of their family. Their wife maybe not working. Their kids may be in school, not working, and things of that nature. So, and a lot of us, let's be real, a lot of us, we live check to check, right? So you rely on these benefits to come in. They don't come in. So what happens? You get backed up on bills. You possibly could lose your house. Credit card bills is crazy. Everything is crazy right now. You dealing with the deaths. You dealing with the new world. There's a lot of stress there. So, but in the MTA specifically, the people who have passed away due to the pandemic, and I can't say certain words because YouTube would demonetize me, so I can't speak on, the C word. I can't say the C word. But with the pandemic, New York City transit workers are not getting their nicest pensions. And also, this is not mentioned in the article, that $500,000 that members' family were supposed to get, they are not getting that either. And I'm hearing that allegedly the union has made some type of other deal with the MTA about now the families have to prove that they died from the pandemic. And that's hard to say that you died from the pandemic if the autopsy say that you died from some type of lung failure, a kidney failure. But the pandemic actually killed them, but the autopsy will say that they died of whatever underlying conditions that they may have. Now, like I said, this is all alleged, but for them to change the game on the families like this will be crazy, right? And also, just for the simple fact that families have not received the $500,000 yet, from what I'm hearing, that's another issue within itself. And the MTA lied. They said that they would get the money, no questions asked. But now all of a sudden, apparently, the MTA is asking a lot of questions. This show you the type of company that we work for here. This show you the type of company that we work for here. This is just what they do. Another thing that's in the news as far as transit workers is concerned is the MTA all of a sudden now is setting up a task force for pregnant transit workers. And like I said, it's always reactive instead of being proactive. For the past 4 years, I've been going to the MTA board meeting. At least, I would say for more than half of my board meeting appearances, I have brought up light duty work for pregnant women on the job. In one of my board meetings, I said that the MTA act like women just fell out the sky yesterday and don't know what to do or don't know how to accommodate women and don't realize women are so much different from men that it's they just don't know what to do, right? So now, unfortunately, we had one of our coworkers lose a baby, possibly because there was no light duty work available. Hand switching is not light duty work. Anybody who works for New York City Transit can tell you that. So now they want to set up a task force. And not to mention, back in 2019, May 2019, I made their, they put my name in their board book to show that I was talking about pregnant women and no light duty work for them on the job. They didn't do nothing then. This tragedy happened. Now they want to set up a task force. A task force is not doing anything. It doesn't mean anything. So in the article itself, it says the task force includes high-ranking Metropolitan Transportation Authority honchos like New York City Transit Human Resources Chief Deb Prado, Head of Labor Relations Kim Moore Ward, and Chief Counsel David Farber. Now we know David Farber cannot have a baby, so he don't know what it's like to work a job like this and have a baby. I don't know. I don't even know if he ever had a transit job ever in his life. Kim Moore Ward, she never was a transit worker. And absolutely no disrespect to her, but she's past the age to have a baby, to even experience working as a transit worker for this company and pregnant. And Deb Prado, I don't know who she is. But I would take a wild guess that she's probably past the age also. I think that, and this is the problem within the MTA themselves. They got all these people who never worked our jobs, right? Because it's not so much about being past the age to have babies or anything like that. But if you never really experienced working here, having a baby, then it's hard for you to even relate to put together a task force to figure out these issues. It's kind of like a smack in the face, and it's disrespectful to the women to do that. But one of the problems, like I said, the MTA don't pull from their own ranks for these high ranking positions. There's not one, they call them MTA honchos. Deb Prado, she didn't come from the rank and file. Kim Moore Ward, she did not come from the rank and file. And of course, the lawyer did not come from the rank and file. But this is what the MTA do. The MTA hire people outside of our field to police the people in our field. It makes absolutely no sense. And I'm not saying that these people are not smart, they're not intelligent, but you must have a certain amount of knowledge of working here firsthand to make certain types of decisions. That's just like me being, I used this example before, me running a mechanic shop. I personally don't know anything much about cars as far as putting them together, what makes this work. I know a little bit. But I don't know how a car function and the pieces of a car, the solenoid valve and all. I don't know much about that, right? So how can I manage a mechanic shop and I don't know what those mechanics have to go through? I don't really know nothing about the tools. I may know the name of them. I may read a book, but I have no hands-on experience of how to take apart an engine, put together an engine and the working functions. And I have no knowledge, but I'm managing a mechanic shop. It makes no. Why would you put someone who never worked as a mechanic to manage a mechanic shop? It really makes no sense. But this is what the MTA do. But I think that the MTA setting up a task force is a reactive measure, of course, and it's also disrespectful. I think that with that task force, there should be a group task force. There should be a task force of, yes, you can have your MTA honchos there, but you also should have some rank and file women there who had babies on the job. So you guys could figure it out together. Because for a situation like this, there shouldn't be a division or line. This is about women issues, pregnancy on the job as a whole. The task force should include MTA management and rank and file women who had babies on the job. And it should be an open door. There should be at least 2-3 weeks of meeting various women who want to come to the table and tell management of their experiences to see how we could figure this out together. This isn't about Local 100. This isn't about management. This is about women's issues. And it should be figured out together. We shouldn't have to hear, we shouldn't have to have Utano appoint women to go sit at the table with MTA management who don't criticize him or whatever the case is. He shouldn't even be involved. Management should have an open call for women who want to tell their story and sit with these managers themselves to discuss these issues. It's that important. But I don't feel that the MTA is taking it serious. Maybe they will take it serious now because, as always, when we talk about it on a certain level and we expose it on a show or whatever the case is, they tend to listen a little bit. So let's see what happens. Let me see what else is going on here. Hold on, let me put the YouTube thing back up. Oh yeah, we definitely have to talk about this. Chris Cuomo is still fighting lingering COVID-19 effects 3 months after diagnosis. So, just recently, I mentioned on Facebook that, I'm still having issues breathing and things of that nature. And some people say some comments, oh, there's no way possible, this, that. Man, this COVID virus thing is serious. And me personally, I deal with still the shortness of breath, the weird feelings in my chest. I can't exercise. Like it takes me a long time to exercise because I'm just tired. So something I used to could do in 30, 40 minutes is taking me 2 hours to do, 2 hours plus to do. I can't chase my son around like I normally could do, get tired really quick. These headaches. Sometimes I be honest, I be depressed because I'm like, yo, what's going on? So I try to get out now and do as much walking as possible. I try to eat a little better. I have not been getting rest too. I read that a lot of people who still recovering from COVID is having problems sleeping, and I never correlated that to COVID, but I am having problems sleeping. But this thing is real, man. This thing is real. I'm more effective at work than being away from work, but I don't want to come back to work having to wear a mask all day and having shortness of breath issues. When I'm out in the street, or when if I'm not at work, I could take off my mask when I want. I don't feel safe. I don't feel that our equipment is safe. I don't feel that. I mean, they said that this virus is being is airborne, and we know that our buses and trains circulate air. There's no real true enforcement on the trains and buses regarding people without masks. I went to therapy today, and this guy came on the train with a dog, and this other lady was like, you should have on a mask. You're going to get all of us sick and things of that nature. If I'm at work on my train and someone is in my car without a mask, what do I do? Do I call it in? Do I say that's just unsafe? Do I take the train out of service? That's what I would do, to be honest with you. I would call it in. And if the MTA say signal for police en route, no, this is unsafe. The government already said that this is unsafe. They already said that this disease circulates through the air. This train will be going out of service if I had to come to work and deal with that. And, we don't have a lot of options. The union disappeared on us during this pandemic. We was left to fight for ourselves. And us as workers, we really could have shut this thing down if we would have stuck together and not be afraid to take the MTA to task. We were well within our range to take the MTA to task regarding this virus stuff. We was well within our range. But it's real. Chris Cuomo is still suffering from it, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, let me get into some.
Because you got a right to believe. God gave it to you.
Let me get into some real quick advertisement. I see a lot of people ask me for the BLM Progressive Action hat. You could go to perfidel.com, perfedel.com, to get the hat and the shirts, the BLM shirts, and other things. We have been selling out of things very quick. Thank you for the support. We actually got the hats in red, and we got it in blue. And yeah, if you want that, you can get it right there. Oh, also, we got something new coming up. We have something new coming up. This is a new announcement we have. And we would like to introduce you to the Dr. Ade Banks show. One of my goals with Progressive Action TV was to set up different programs on Progressive Action TV. I didn't just not want it to be this program. Before, in the past, I had put out a Facebook post saying that I want to get other programs. If you got a show idea, a show that you want to do and you want to do on a platform, we want serious shows. We want, you got a funny show, if you got whatever it is, and you want to do your show on Progressive Action TV, we want to work with you in setting up your thing, and you go live on a Progressive Action TV platform. But we're going to be doing a show with a black doctor, a black woman doctor who I went to high school with. Like I said, she's a medical doctor now. I'm very proud of her. And we're going to be discussing various issues in our community from her standpoint. This is her show. It won't have nothing to do with Tremel Thompson. It won't have nothing to do with Progressive Action, the movement. This will be the Dr. the Dr. Ade show. It will be powered by Progressive Action TV. And we're excited to launch this. Like I said, she will be talking about various issues, women's issues, nutrition, underlying conditions, things that affect our community. I'm very happy about it. We don't know a launch date yet. But as soon as we get a launch date, we will let you guys know. I didn't do no promotions. Didn't do any promotions. If you would like to donate to the platform, we have Cash App. You could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is the $ Progressive Action 100. If you would like to donate via PayPal, the PayPal is Progressive Action. Apologize. Losing my breath a little bit. If you would like to donate via Patreon, the Patreon link is in the description of this video. You could donate via Patreon, and that's a monthly thing. That's what is it? How much is the Patreon? What, $25 a month, I believe. It's not a lot. If you want to support the program, we greatly appreciate it, especially the Patreons. Definitely appreciate it. And we got something new. You could donate soon. YouTube accepted our membership program. You would still be able to see the videos or whatever. I'm not going to restrict the videos, but if you want to support the platform through YouTube, hopefully soon we pricing via YouTube. But thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. We will catch you guys later. Peace.